Alright folks, it's turn 22. Satis's army continues to push. It's a fairly small army, but actually a fairly dangerous and expensive one. They've got several Marsh Masters plus their hero, Atun Shar the Sobek Sorrowmancer, and a Lizard Lord leading this small group of elite warriors and heavy infantry. Mostly they're spamming skeletons, and they are also casting Foul Vapors in support. So Hasdrubal the Marsh Master is dropping Foul Vapors, and it murders everybody. Although, frankly, the skeletons are murdering people before the Foul Vapors can, typically. So the skeletons swarm ahead, kill everyone. The Foul Vapors inflicts a little bit of friendly fire onto the elite warriors, who only have 5 poison resistance. So you may notice some of them die from it, some of them don't. So this is the effect of 5 poison resistance on Foul Vapors. It's enough to keep most people alive most of the time, but not entirely. You can see 3 of them died from that. It says I got 3 kills, but I don't think I got 3 kills. Well, I killed 3 skeletons, I guess, and then 3 of the... because I didn't kill any of the elite warriors. I didn't see any of them go down to my weapons. So, we failed to infiltrate Phlegra, by the way, which is a little bit unfortunate. So, we're collapsing our armies here. And the reason we're collapsing our armies is because it enables us to test our Knights of the Chalice, which I think will be our countermeasure. And if we could kill these guys off, that'd be really good, because like I said, this is a small army, but an expensive one. These, the Marsh Masters are 235 gold a pop, so if we kill off 4 of them, this army is well over 1,000 gold, I believe, and if we can wipe that out without taking huge casualties, I mean, if we can lose less than 100 infantry, basically, we'll be fine. Now, if we lose 20 cavalry, we'll be, have traded evenly, but as long as our mages live, we should be able to handle it. So, all of our mages are blessing themselves, and my Knights of the Chalice, which will give them all 5 poison resistance. And then the Knights of the Chalice are going to charge in and try to steamroll, while the mages summon fire elementals, which should hopefully help burn through all those skeletons they're going to be summoning. More troops are moving forward. Everyone's just kind of surging in that direction. Everything's going fine. And if you'll notice, the Enkidu have moved in to occupy the Verdant Steppe next to Satis. Now, that's a little unfortunate, actually, because I wanted the Verdant Steppe. But if they can take it and win, that's fine. They can have it, I guess. I'll go over this way, and I'll see if I can take Satis itself or Monherboa or something. I'll snatch a few provinces out of this war. And then, after that, probably gang up with Pythium against Abyssia, or possibly gang up with Phlegra again against Uruk, one of the two. We'll see. But that is pretty much the whole turn. We're still building our fortress over here, searching for magic sites with all of our dudes. We have not yet found this witch that's supposedly down here, which is a little bit unfortunate. Like, I don't know what this event is supposed to... Oh, yes, I have. So, one of the noble women of the land has been practicing witchcraft. She was muted and put in the dungeon. That actually happened 2 turns ago, and I didn't notice. So, yay me. Good attention paying. And we got a whole bunch of money from it, so that's great. So Clarun can move out. Also, speaking of things that I didn't talk about at the time, Mother Oak. Man actually put up a Mother Oak, which is sort of hilarious. I expect they'll have it for a little while, but middle-aged man does have quite a bit of nature magic, so that can really help them, unlike late-age man. That one in Layer Cake. So yeah, so that is the turn. Research-wise, research is going okay. 234 on turn 22. I'll take it. We're bumming down enchantment as fast as we can to get to flaming arrows. Once we get to flaming arrows, that also gives us Poison Ward, which will be super, super valuable. After that, we need to go down construction. We need to get construction level 4 so that we can spend some of our nature gems, or our nature gem per turn, on getting some of our nature mages thistle maces. Hopefully, we'll find more nature sites in the meantime. Hopefully. I would love some more nature sites. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So we'll keep searching for them, and of course we're also searching for death sites. We actually have a couple of death gems per turn, which is really cool. And of course our pearl and fire gem income is reasonably healthy. So that is turn 22, and I'll see you all in turn 23. Okay, turn 23. Not much happened this turn. The Grand Army is assembled and moving north. We're moving some troops in different directions to avoid having supply issues in God's Two Mountains, like we're having here in the Great Woods, which incidentally has, of course, the Dying Forest, which increases death. I didn't know it increased death all the way to death 3. Yowza. Up here, I would love to actually, like, build a fort or something here. It gives me tons and tons of resources. But right now it's just feeding resources to Marignon, which has incredible resources. More than 450 plus 420 recruitment points. So these Knights of the Chalice are not, like, no sweat. It is not a problem to be spamming them. In terms of crossbowmen, I could swap my crossbowmen out for something more resource intensive, like swordsmen or possibly men-at-arms, but I'd run out of gold real quick, so we're just going to stick with the crossbows. More of my witch hunters are moving north in order to lend their aid to the fire elemental spamming corps. And that's about it. We traded provinces. I retook God's Two Mountains behind him. He moved into Norfangs and took Norfangs away from me. Lost a couple more elite warriors. This is fine. He wants to keep doing this. If he wants to keep spending his nature gems, throwing down foul vapors in tiny little unimportant fights, that's all right. I'm good with it. Keep doing that. Keep doing that. The fewer gems you have, the better. The fewer gems you have on hand, that is. He's doubtless going to get more from somewhere, but I would prefer him to have as few as possible. Now, since we have Dude Man here, Thramul, we're healing afflictions as we go, which is fantastic, especially because Guillaume has just become diseased, because it is late winter, so that's unfortunate. I've also got a diseased guy down here, Garen's the Architect. He will live long enough to build my castle, my citadel, down this way. And after that, we'll kind of have to see what happens to him, but I'm not too worried about it. He'll be alright. I can always recruit another one. They're really, really cheap. And, you know, not a big issue. So, that's about all that's going on this turn. I've hit enchantment level 2, researching up to enchantment level 3, which will take me a little while. My research is dragging a little bit because I'm moving my mages off to fight. I'll hit enchantment level 3 next turn, and then I think it'll take me 2 more turns after that to hit enchantment level 4, which is, once again, fine. That is a reasonable rate to go. I need to get a temple built over here in the Forgotten Woods to help guard the Throne of the Moon, but we'll burn that bridge when we come to it. So in any case, that is turn 23. I know it's short, and we will we'll see what goes on in turn 24. I don't know, since I lost this province, I don't know if Uruk has taken this fort. I hope so. I hope this army is doubling back to try and defend the fort and will lose. But we'll kind of have to see what goes on there. This looks like an army that is going to be attacking Abyssia, so that's that. And down here, all's quiet on the Phlegron front. We're doing fine. They do have another fort there. And I still don't have any scouts that I know of. I mean, I could recruit scouts here in Glistening Dew Forest, but I really want to keep recruiting as many Jade Sorceresses as possible, since they are literally my source of, you know, non-fire. What I'll probably do is over here, I'll cancel that guy out and instead recruit a couple of scouts. Let's kill a unit somewhere. Kill a unit, yeah, because I need visibility. So let's recruit 2 scouts per turn, and that will be fine. Or possibly 1 troubadour per turn. Let's go with 2 scouts for now. The troubadours will be specialists. So that is going to be the turn, and I'll see you all in turn 24. Okay, turn 24, and this turn saw the first death. I don't know what's going on over there, but Tianqi has been destroyed. I actually don't even know where Tianqi is, because my scouting network is garbage. But hey, that is just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. So, we've got some troops lined up, and there was another big piece of news this turn. So down here, lots of people moving around, moving commanders, moving site searchers to find more magic sites. I also need to get some, I actually need to get DeFranc moving over in this direction. So let's give those bad boys to Zephyron instead. And DeFranc, move over there to help find things. So, battles. Battle in Endless Plains. We took over from Province Defense, and then in God's Tomb Mountains. This was the big important one. This was the test of my proof of concept against Foul Vapors, basically. We've got a Marshmaster casting Foul Vapors, we've got his hero, the Sobek Sauromancer, a couple more Marshmasters, Skilla spamming, and a little bit of infantry. On my side, I've got a huge freaking army. Largely crossbows, but with large contingents of Knights of the Chalice. And so my goal here was to see how effective 5 poison resistance really is against all that Foul Vapor goodness. And the answer is it actually worked okay. The crossbow bolts coming in definitely didn't hurt, We actually did kill one or two of the mages early on with the crossbow bolts, and then the Knights of the Chalice came storming around the rear to clean up shop. Also, we summoned just a million fire elementals. Just way too many fire elementals. This was an excess of caution on my part. They weren't really actually all that useful, but they were there. They helped. We blew a lot of gems doing that. So, we cleaned up Satis entirely, and then, unfortunately, we lost about a third of our crossbows to foul vapors. We look here, however, so we lost about half the men-at-arms, a couple of pikeneers, a royal guard, 8 swordsmen, 57 crossbows, 3 commanders, and our inquisitor, 1 inquisitor, but not the witch hunters. The witch hunters were all fine. And 4 Knights of the Chalice. Only 4. But the Knights of the Chalice got a lot of kills, too. So we've wiped out several mages for heavy but not unsustainable losses. And we're doing well. So we're pushing in. This army is staying still while we bring up more fire gems to distribute. This little army, which is just crossbows and then 4 dudes, is pushing in here. This fortress is still under siege by the Enkidu and is broken. So we shouldn't have to worry about that. And this little force is going to steal that province. So we're going to end up taking a good little chunk of territory here. And then we're going to be cut off by the Enkidu, which will be fine. We may turn on Abyssia, or I'm not sure what exactly we'll do, but we'll do something. But overall, that went pretty well. We did get some afflictions from the poison damage, but you know what? We'll be all right. It doesn't really, none of them really damage the mages, because the point of these mages is just to summon fire elementals, basically. So we are okay. And of course, Thramul can heal afflictions, and is doing so. Look at 5 battle afflictions were cured. If we tab real quick, you can see we have a ton of battle afflictions now. Just a huge, ungodly amount. But it'll be fine. It's not really a problem, because we have reserves. I give infantry there, and there, and they should be on hold and attack closest. And we'll put them up front. Okay, great. Move those guys kind of centrally located. There we go. All right. So we'll be able to go again next turn. Once again, real brief turns, so trying to kind of make these turns quicker when there's not anything terribly interesting in them. Enchantment level 4, research. Enchantment level 4 next turn, so we'll have Flaming Arrows next turn, which will also be a nice little power spike for our crossbows. And then we'll kind of be working on who to choose as the next target. Lots of Cyclops chieftains down here, interestingly. Phlegra is a possibility. Going up against Phlegra wouldn't be too bad, although they do have the Gigantes, which will be hard to counter. Or, like I said, Abyssia. So we'll kind of put off that decision until next turn, because right now I'm fine with what it is. So, thanks for watching. I'll see you all in turn 25. Alright, folks, turn 25. The war continues apace. We did get kind of cock-blocked up here in Carrion. We can view that battle. It was a Foul Vapors battle. I mean, what can I say? They moved in an army to counteract us, and pretty much wiped us out. We inflicted a little bit of damage, but not a huge amount, and of course the Foul Vapors would have finished us off, even if the charge didn't. Of interesting note, they do have Long Dead Horsemen. We already knew they had that spell because we knew they had enchantment level 5. I didn't know they were going to be leaning on it already. That is interesting. And you can see they lost a lot to their own Foul Vapors, but a lot of it was province defense. They stacked quite a bit of province defense in here, which was primarily barbarians. And beyond that, they didn't lose many of their actual units. So they wiped out our little army. The part that hurts about this is the Royal Guards. Everything else, kind of expendable. In Norfangs, we rolled in and cleaned up a tiny little bit of province defense with no problem. We finished our castle in Zemeki, and we lost some tax in Eryx, but we gained a ton of gold and a bunch of gems, as well as a cat charm in the Forgotten Woods. And we don't really... losing the tax in Eryx hurts some. It's like 70 gold lost, but then we gained another 600, so we're doing fine. And we've gotten 3 magic items through events. Admittedly, they are pretty random items that are not super important or valuable, but they're items. Like, you could use them. If I really wanted to, I could start thugging paladins at this point, as soon as I research some construction. And to be honest, I'm tempted. My bless is not great, but I do have some options for items I can give these guys that would help them a lot, especially because I do have a little tiny bit of death, and I have some nature, earth, and water. So it's an option. My nature income is bad, but I need my nature income to be better. But we're working on that. We have people moving around site searching still. Site searching down there, gonna search down there. Research-wise, we're researching construction down to level 4. We're gonna pause to grab thaumaturgy level 3, which will give me augury, as well as iron will, teleport, and haruspecs, or if I ever get a nature 2 mage. And then we're going to go down to construction level 6, which will enable us to construct the big important items. And that will be valuable. And at that point, we really can thug paladins, despite not having exactly the bless for it. This army is rolling in a little bit deeper into enemy territory. This army is staying still because we're building a palisade in Norfangs. It has a couple of provinces it can draw from, and it already has a lot of resources. So this is definitely going to be a valuable province. We'll also want to build, of course, a lab and a temple here, and we'll want to upgrade that as much as we can. We're upgrading this to a castle. Down here, we're upgrading this to a citadel. Garons will live long enough to accomplish that, and we already have a citadel over here, so of course we're already pumping out our Jade Sorceresses. Great. Everything's pretty much going to code. We can cast Foul Vapors ourselves, or we could. We'd have to forge a communion matrix, which would be a little bit tough because we don't have the astral earth cross path. We've also got our first Grand Master, so now we have a little bit of air magic that we can weave into communions if we want. That provides an impetus to start researching alteration, so that we can get down to Phantasmal Army and then Fog Warriors at level 7. Fog Warriors is a fantastic spell. Or to research more conjuration, so we can get down to our angel summons. The Harbinger is an air mage at level 6, and that requires Astral 4, which we don't have right now, but Guide can do some things. He needs to forge boosters, which is another reason to go down construction at this point. As soon as we get up to Astral 4, summoning Harbingers would be great, as Harbingers are Air 3 mages, and so they can do all kinds of cool air stuff that otherwise we can't do. But for now, I think our basic combat magic is pretty much entirely online. These guys I've got the fire gems distributed more or less evenly, except for this guy who just doesn't get any fire gems because screw him, I guess. We're gonna move in up here. If he throws Foul Vapors, we'll drown him in fire elementals and in Knights of the Chalice. Actually, to be honest, we don't really need fire elementals for this fight. So let me re-script real quick. We definitely want conservative magic gem usage. Flaming arrows is fine, but then I want you to cast Bonds of Fire. Spam that, because I do not want you using gems. So this guy, Blessing, Phoenix Power, Bonds of Fire. That will basically make our infantry wipe out their units, and that'll be fine. So we're just going to copy that and go all the way down. You need to stay put, by the way. Yep, Blessing, Twist, Fate, Bonds of Fire, that's fine. Conservative gem usage. Conservative gem usage. I needed to have conservative gem usage on before I copied that. Because everybody needs to not use their gems. We do not want them baiting our gems out on an army that doesn't deserve them. Like I said, I will do 1 Flaming Arrows. That'll be fine. And Bonds of Fire, Bonds of Fire. Okay, that should be fine. Like I said, I just don't want to spend my gems on this army. I want to spend my gems in a big battle where the fire elementals are actually really important, which is not this. Abyssiac seems to be summoning fiery imps already, which is a little bit unfortunate. But we can only do what we can do. You can go over there. We're not recruiting a whole lot of troops except in the capital. In the capital, we continue to churn out Knights of the Chalice and crossbows. And those will continue to be our troops for the foreseeable future, I think. Knights of the Chalice for their knightly chalicehood, and crossbowmen for their shootiness. So we'll just kind of sit there with those for the nonce. And I'm getting my scouts deeper into enemy territory. This army is quite substantial. And they're waiting. They're not actually attacking the fortress, despite having had it broken last turn. I'm not sure why. If I was him, I'd be going in as quick as I could, but that's just me. I mean, what do I know? So, that's the turn. Not much else is happening. We did find a magic site. We found the Garden of Frozen Flowers, which gives us a water gem, which is kind of cool. And beyond that, we are pretty solid. So, thanks for watching. I'll see you all in turn 26. Alright, folks, turn 26. So, once again, my lack of attention to pathfinding has bit me, because I accidentally launched these 2 mages, completely unsupported and with no gems or anything, to attack Abyssia. So, yeah, that happened. And they basically just stood back here casting spells until they were shanked to death. So yeah, that's 2 mages that I'll never see again. I should apologize to Abyssia for that random nonsense. I was trying to get them up here anyway. So, yeah, that was a thing. I'm going to take Selena and move her over there so that I can push her up in this direction to start site searching, because site searching for level 2 water sites would be kind of nifty. I do have water gem income. Funnily enough, it's more than my nature gem income, which is sort of hilarious and sort of sad. Research-wise, we've hit construction level 2, we'll hit construction level 3 this turn, and keep on rolling. We're at 250 research points, which is still low for this point of the game, but I've started to recruit Grand Masters. With Grand Masters, I could now be forging owl quills, which would help with my research somewhat, albeit I don't have many air gems, so I'm a little bit hesitant to do that right now. In any case, my Grandmasters are moving out. I have been attacked by, this is literally a Marshmaster and 2 guys here in Strongdale, and they just spammed skeletons in order to wipe out the province defense. So, that's fine, I guess. We'll just have to cut him off. I've bulked up the province defense over in these provinces somewhat. I still don't think it can stop skeleton spam necessarily, but I'm hoping. I mean, it probably can. And I'm sending Guide, or Guide, one of the 2, with all of my newly recruited Knights of the Chalice and Crossbowmen to retake Strongdale, because Strongdale is a huge portion of my resource income. It gives me over 100 resources, and without it, Marañón is a lot less useful. We're also moving Cannabis down here. He's going to start site searching for level 2 Astral and level 1 Air sites in order to bump up my income there. I would really like my Astral Pearl income to be higher. I would like all of my gem incomes to be higher, in fact. If you look at my magic resources, my gem income is none too impressive right now. I haven't been site searching very aggressively. So I've got 8, 10, what is that, 16? Not even. 10, 14. 14 gems per turn, which is low for this point of the game. That's not what I want to see. I would like to have more gems, please. So I need to start really site searching my territories, and those Grand Masters are going to be the ones who do it for me. Down here, I'm going to go site search Villia and then pop up and site search the Forgotten Woods with Adenia, or Andenia, see if I can find some more death sites. If I can get enough death gems to empower somebody, then I can start doing a little something with it. If I could empower her, and then I can forge Skull Staffs with her and do some basic summoning, and that'll break me into death in a reasonable way. So that would be really, really useful. Up here, we ran into that little raiding party of Ceticians, and wiped them out. They didn't have the gems to cast Foul Vapors, and they had 4 of their Marshmasters, 5 Marshmasters, and a Lizard Shaman, and we basically just ran them over. They spammed out a whole bunch of skeletons. My Knights of the Chalice charged down, ran into the skeletons, charged around the rear, killed off the mages, and it was all good in the neighborhood. Casualties? Fairly minimal. 2 Knights of the Chalice, 1 Man-at-Arms, 1 Swordsman. Everything was fine, and I didn't even summon my Fire Elementals because I didn't need to. Now, in this province, I am going to script them to summon Fire Elementals because I don't know what's coming. So, yeah, Fire Elementals. Actually, you could just do Bonds of Fire. You can do a Fire Elemental, you can do a Fire Elemental, you can do a Fire Elemental, you can do Bonds of Fire, Fire Elementals, Fire Elementals, Fire Elementals, Fire Elementals, Bonds of Fire. Basically, we are going to want to summon some Elementals, but at the same time, I want to use up all of my gems. Dragon is diseased, unfortunately, because we are in your friendly lizard neighbor's dominion, and so we're getting diseases because that's what happens in Cetician Dominion. We're bouncing these Knights of the Chalice back down here just in case these guys come to this province. If they come to that province, whatever, it'll be okay. I could actually bounce Dragon back, and I may do that. Yeah, we're going to bounce him back there. So basically they're cut off. No matter where in my territory they go, we're attacking here, we're hitting here with a Grandmaster summoning fire elementals. We're hitting here with Knights of the Chalice. And we're hitting here with this significant army. And all of these armies should stop Skella spam from one guy. Like, no problem. Up here, pushing deeper into Statisian territory. Uruk has still not taken that fort. I'm not sure what they're waiting for. They've reinforced themselves with a huge number of Zots. I don't know where they got Zots from. I legitimately don't understand. They must have a province that can recruit Zots, so presumably right here they can recruit Zots. That also means they can recruit Kamazots, so they've got stealthy flying death mages flickering around the place, which is highly annoying, but there's not much to be done about it right at the moment. We'll have to deal with them when the time comes, but that time is not right now. We need to launch some more scouts into their territory. And that's pretty much the turn. Yep, that's pretty much it. We're doing okay. We're doing solid. We're cooking with gas. We're starting to recruit some more Knights of the Chalice down here because they are really good units, and so having more of them would be better. So, thanks for watching. I'll see you all in turn 27. The war against Satis continues, and we'll see how good we can do. I mean, if at all possible, I'd love to take Satis as capital. My only issue is I'm going to end up with this long, extended tail kind of sticking out of my territory. And it's going to be a little bit of an issue with Uruk, I think. I think Uruk is going to end up being the next enemy. And Uruk's units are pretty decent at dealing with mine. Now, if I mass up a million crossbows, I can deal with Uruk, especially with flaming arrows active. But we'll see. I might end up in some really pretty big clashes with them pretty soon. I'm also going to take this guy. Or actually, do I have a scout? I do not. I'd like to do this with a scout because they're stealthy. Yeah, you sneak over here. We're going to give you a bunch of fire gems and send you up to reinforce the army. So, that'll be it for this turn. I'll see you next turn.